400 kilograms. This is the approximate weight of a fully functional classic truck, scaled down to the size of a go-kart. Why would an engineer invest thousands of hours into miniaturizing a massive industrial vehicle? Handcrafting a machine of this scale seems like a pursuit of aesthetics, but the internal mechanics reveal a different purpose. These vehicles function as precise mechanical replicas that operate under their own power rather than serving as static displays. The process of construction is only gaining momentum. One can notice how the chassis of these machines is welded from reinforced steel tubing to support the weight of a miniature internal combustion engine. These are not toys, but legitimate engineering feats equipped with functional gearboxes, drive shafts, and hydraulic braking systems. It is visible how the metal panels are shaped by hand to mirror the contours of full-sized American classics from the mid-20th century. At first glance, a truck that fits inside a standard apartment garage appears to be a novelty, but in reality, every component must withstand the same physical stresses as its larger counterparts. The drive systems utilize small displacement engines that deliver torque through reduced gear ratios. Everything only gets more complicated when considering the suspension geometry required for such a short wheelbase. Builders must calculate the center of gravity with jewelry-like precision to prevent the vehicle from tipping during maneuvers. One can notice the slow rotation of the drive wheels as they transition power from the transmission to the axle. It gets more complex further on. Because these trucks are handcrafted by independent engineers, no two cooling systems or electrical harnesses are identical, making each machine a unique solution to a complex scaling problem. The smallest American trucks ever built represent a challenge to traditional automotive proportions. The camera glides along the polished chrome grills and tiny door handles that function with the same tactile click as a factory-made pickup. As the engines start, the sound of mechanical combustion fills the space, proving that size does not define the physical capabilities of the machine. The most compact models demonstrate an agility that allows them to navigate spaces inaccessible to any standard vehicle. Transition to the next level. The smallest and most agile of these machines concludes the sequence by demonstrating its ability to operate within a radius of only a few meters. Thus, the engineering journey of these miniature working trucks reaches its logical completion. 5/8 is the exact scale used to recreate the iconic profile of a classic American Peterbilt truck within a frame that fits into a standard residential garage. Why would an engineer attempt to shrink a heavy-duty highway giant while maintaining its full mechanical functionality? At first glance, it seems like a purely aesthetic exercise, but in reality, it is a complex feat of automotive reconstruction that transforms a standard pickup truck into a scaled big rig. This project was initiated in 1999 by Bob Suffren, an Australian enthusiast based in the United States, who spent 4 years refining the design. By 2003, the production of complete kits had expanded to reach a global market. The customization process is centered in Nashville, Tennessee. One can notice that the assembly is managed entirely by an all-female team of technicians, a unique occurrence in the heavy-duty automotive industry. The process begins with a base vehicle, typically a Chevrolet Silverado, which is stripped down to its essential components. The original body is removed, allowing the team to install custom panels inspired by full-size rigs while preserving the aesthetic DNA of the Peterbilt brand. Everything only gets more complicated as the technicians align the 5/8 scale hood with the existing chassis. V8 engines with displacements ranging from 5 to 6 liters provide the power for these miniature machines. These power plants generate between 300 and 400 horsepower, ensuring the vehicle has the mechanical force to match its visual presence. The original automatic transmission from the donor pickup is retained to manage the output. It is visible how the drive remains concentrated on the rear wheels, which replicates the handling characteristics of a genuine commercial truck on a smaller scale. But this is just the beginning. The exterior includes long hoods, vertical exhaust stacks, and polished chrome fuel tanks. It looks superficially simple to recreate these shapes, but in reality, every detail must be precisely scaled to maintain the correct proportions. The cab is engineered with enough interior volume to accommodate 2 adults comfortably, proving that the miniaturization does not sacrifice basic ergonomics. The engine produces a bold sound that mimics the deep idle of a diesel workhorse. The process is only gaining momentum as these vehicles move from the workshop to high-profile industry events. These rigs are frequent highlights at parades, themed exhibitions, and automotive shows. They are not classified as toys, but as fully functional custom vehicles built for enthusiasts of heavy machinery. Kits have been exported to Canada, Japan, and Australia, establishing a worldwide network of owners. Transition to the next level. Despite the reduced dimensions, many of these units are equipped to tow small trailers, demonstrating that the structural integrity of the original pickup remains intact. The vehicle functions as a bridge between a luxury custom car and a commercial utility machine. Style and function operate in tandem, even when the frame is significantly reduced in size. The material reaches its final form, ready for the road or the showroom floor. From here, the focus shifts to an even smaller scale of engineering that maintains the same level of technical complexity. One custom mini truck completely redefines the boundaries of the scale vehicle world. Why would anyone attempt to shrink a legendary heavy-duty hauler into a functional micro-machine? The answer lies in the engineering precision of Dennis from Go-Kart Alley, who transformed a standard kart chassis into a fully operational miniature Kenworth. This build functions as a bridge between high-performance karting and professional industrial design, retaining every hallmark of a long-haul road warrior within a compact frame. It only looks like a static showpiece at first glance, but in reality, the mechanics beneath the fiberglass are ready for immediate operation. 110-horsepower Tecumseh engine serves as the power plant for this project. This specific motor is widely recognized for its presence in industrial-grade lawnmowers and high-end racing go-karts because it is simple, reliable, and requires minimal maintenance. But this is just the beginning. The engine is positioned to drive the rear wheels, providing the necessary torque to move the scaled-down frame with a distinct mechanical hum. One can notice how the exhaust gases exit through functional twin stacks that rise high above the cab, mirroring the silhouette of a full-size semi-truck. It seems simple to just mount a plastic shell on a frame, but in reality, every body panel was crafted to maintain perfect proportions. The truck features a massive vertical front grille, classic round headlights, and a professional-grade paint job that mimics the finish of a factory-line vehicle. Because it was designed for agility rather than heavy hauling, the machine remains lightweight and nimble. The process is only gaining momentum. The short wheelbase allows for a sharp turning radius, making the steering incredibly responsive during tight maneuvers. One forward gear and a single reverse gear comprise the entire transmission system. This basic mechanical setup is ideal for short demonstration runs where complex shifting would be unnecessary. The scale of the vehicle is notably smaller than common 5.8 scale models, standing at approximately half the size of a standard truck, or perhaps even less. It is visible how the detailed chrome wheels rotate as the truck moves, while a fully functional air horn provides an audible presence that matches its visual impact. Everything only gets more complicated when considering the interior, which features a completely enclosed cab and detailed dash panels. Every Kenworth badge is mounted with millimeter precision to ensure the aesthetic remains official. At first glance, people often assume the truck is a non-functional toy, but the creator ensures it remains a legitimate vehicle with the soul of a performance cart. It is visible how bystanders react at trade shows and exhibitions, immediately reaching for phones as the small engine revs up to a high pitch. The engine provides more than enough power to move the driver and the chassis with ease, proving that the trucker's dream can indeed exist in a pocket-sized format. The next machine in the lineup takes this level of detail even further, utilizing a construction method that few builders would ever dare to attempt. The material is ready to move to the next processing phase without haste. One icon of American highways possesses a visual identity as bold and recognizable as the classic Mack truck. The square hood, aggressive radiator grille, and a physical stance that commands presence even while stationary define this machinery. Why would anyone attempt to condense such a massive presence into a frame less than half the size of the original? This challenge led to the creation of the Mini Mack, a fully functional miniature vehicle built to operate, impress, and function as a mechanical marvel in its own right. The process begins with a handcrafted, lightweight custom chassis that serves as the foundation for the entire build. It only looks obvious to scale down a vehicle, but in reality, preserving the brand's iconic look requires immense technical accuracy. Round headlights, wide fenders, and precisely positioned side mirrors are integrated into the bodywork with jewelry-like precision. The classic chrome grille featuring the Mack logo is placed front and center to ensure the scaled-down replica retains the essence of the full-sized original. But this is just the beginning. The mechanical configuration is designed for both simplicity and maximum efficiency during operation. One can notice how the power originates from a stationary engine that delivers between 10 and 15 horsepower. This output is specifically calculated to move the lightweight frame with ease across various surfaces. The transmission utilizes a direct drive system. Forward and reverse gears allow for effortless maneuvering in tight spaces, making the vehicle ideal for exhibitions, festivals, and specialized hobbyist events. A rear-wheel drive configuration paired with a short wheelbase ensures the rig remains easy to steer under all conditions. Meanwhile, the reinforced suspension system provides the necessary stability to support a body constructed from a combination of metal and fiberglass. The process is only gaining momentum as more technical features are integrated into the small frame. Functional steering, responsive brakes, a horn, and even side exhausts are included to enhance the mechanical realism of the build. For a machine of such small dimensions, it behaves remarkably like a full-scale truck during movement. One can notice the camera glides along the interior where the proportions are tight yet fully usable for an operator. The seat is designed to accommodate a full-grown adult comfortably, making the experience behind the wheel comparable to driving a specialized go-kart with heavy-duty aesthetics. It seems simple to build a replica for display, but in reality, this is a real working truck. These types of custom builds are rapidly gaining popularity at truck shows, automotive meets, and themed events where they consistently draw the attention of every passerby. Collectors, professional mechanics, and enthusiasts of all ages stop to observe the craftsmanship and the clever engineering required to execute such a unique project. It does not end at this stage. Almost every individual component was manufactured from scratch, custom molded and handcrafted specifically for this singular design. Transition to the next level of the construction reveals that no parts were salvaged from old bodies or donor vehicles. Every panel, light housing, and mounting bracket was carefully designed to fit the specific scale while maintaining full mechanical function. This represents a significant feat of custom garage engineering, where precision meets miniature scale. If this compact Mack has demonstrated the possibilities of custom fabrication, the limits of creativity and customization are pushed even further in the following stages of development. The metal components are polished and the systems are tested to ensure every movement is fluid. The project reaches a state of completion where the miniature truck is ready to join the ranks of unique custom machinery. 150 cubic centimeters is the displacement of the motorcycle engine powering this handcrafted tribute to a trucking icon. Why would an engineer choose such a compact power plant for a vehicle modeled after a heavy-duty legend? The choice is strictly technical, as this specific engine provides the ideal power-to-weight ratio for a scaled-down machine intended for exhibitions and precision driving. This mechanical heart ensures that the miniature truck remains economical and reliable while maintaining enough torque to move its own mass and an attached load. The legendary Scania 113H served as the primary inspiration for this build, a model that dominated the transport routes of Brazil and various global territories throughout the 1980s and 1990s. But this is just the beginning. The builder constructed the frame using reinforced steel to support the combined weight of the custom bodywork and the functional trailer. At first glance, the vehicle appears to be a static replica, but in reality, every structural component is designed for active movement. One can notice how the chassis maintains its horizontal alignment even when the wooden trailer is attached via the integrated quick-release coupling system. This mechanism allows the operator to perform hookup and detachment maneuvers that precisely mirror the operations of a full-size commercial tractor-trailer setup. The exterior dimensions follow the original lines of the Scania 113H with extreme fidelity to the source material. It is visible how the square hood transitions into the signature front grille, flanked by double headlights and accurately placed turn signals. Every mirror, tail light, and decal occupies the exact coordinate dictated by the factory design of the original truck. The process is only gaining momentum. 13-inch car wheels, typically utilized for compact passenger vehicles, provide the contact point with the pavement. These wheels work in conjunction with an adjustable leaf spring suspension system that allows the operator to tune the stiffness based on the specific terrain or the weight of the cargo in the trailer. The camera glides along the undercarriage, revealing a rear-wheel drive configuration and a direct transmission setup. This layout ensures smooth control and maneuverability when the truck operates within the confined spaces of automotive shows or events. Inside the cabin, the technical realism continues without compromise. The steering wheel connects directly to the front axle for functional steering, and the dashboard is a custom-made assembly designed to fit the scaled interior. There is sufficient volume within the cabin for an adult to sit and operate the controls comfortably. Everything only gets more complicated as one examines the exhaust system placement and the lighting array, which were planned to ensure the silhouette remains indistinguishable from the heavy-duty original. A deep growl resonates from the exhaust pipe, providing an acoustic profile that lends authority to the small-scale machine. Fans of heavy machinery analyze the garage engineering required to shrink such a complex vehicle, while others observe the nostalgic aesthetic of the 1980s design. Transition to the next level. This is not merely a display piece, but a fully operational machine where the paint job and every chrome detail reflect a deep respect for industrial tradition. The suspension absorbs minor irregularities in the road as the truck moves with visual stability. It only looks obvious to build a small car, but in reality, maintaining the balance of a heavy trailer requires precise calculation of the center of gravity. The result is a moving tribute that blends mechanical passion with technical accuracy. The miniature vehicle completes its demonstration run, and the engine settles into a steady idle. The material and the machine have reached the standard required for the next phase of the exhibition. Thus, the scaled-down Scania concludes its movement, ready to be displayed among other unique engineering feats. 2,850 hours of labor represent the total time invested into the creation of the mini Kenworth with a tank trailer. Why would a builder dedicate well over a full year of near-daily work to a single machine? It only looks obvious to call this a hobby. But in reality, this project crosses the boundary into mechanical art through an investment of $85,000. This capital was utilized to transform raw materials into a scaled-down truck that mirrors the complexity of a full-size commercial vehicle. Construction began without the use of off-the-shelf kits or prefabricated components. One can notice how every element, from the primary structural bolt to the final surface polish, was handcrafted to achieve a professional level of finish. The equipment gradually took shape as a fully functional replica of a Kenworth tanker truck, designed with such precision that it can be mistaken for a standard rig when viewed from a distance. A hand-built Cummins engine serves as the heart of this miniature machine. This power unit operates in conjunction with a 5-speed transmission that was custom designed to integrate into the bespoke chassis. The drivetrain allows for the delivery of smooth, progressive torque, which provides the authority and control necessary to move the entire assembly. But this is just the beginning. The tank trailer is not a static ornament, but a fully functional unit. One can notice the reinforced suspension system, which was engineered specifically to support the substantial weight of the metal tank. The rear-wheel drive system pushes the vehicle forward, while the suspension maintains stability. The process is only gaining momentum as the industrial finishes on the tank mirror the exact textures found on real highway tankers. Every visual detail follows a strict technical standard. The dual exhaust system, the front grille, the chrome fenders, and even the access steps were recreated with extreme attention to detail. It is visible how the flawless paintwork and polished chrome surfaces reflect light, mimicking the appearance of a vehicle pulled directly from a commercial fleet. The camera glides along the polished tank, highlighting the consistency of the metalwork. Inside the cab, the layout is adapted to accommodate an adult operator. The interior features custom seats, a functional steering wheel, and a modified dashboard that allows for full control of the vehicle's systems. This miniature isn't built just to sit still. It operates with stability at low speeds, ensuring safety while maintaining the undeniable style of the original Kenworth design. Everything only gets more complicated when considering the engineering required to scale these systems. Specialty vehicle events frequently host this truck, where it draws the attention of both enthusiasts and professional engineers. It gets more complex further on. Collectors and mechanics often treat this replica with the same respect afforded to full-size trucks, using it as a definitive showcase of high-level fabrication. The assembly techniques and paintwork applied here prove that professional industrial standards remain consistent regardless of the scale. The machine continues to serve as a testament to what can be achieved when creativity is pushed to its physical limits. From the drivetrain to the chrome accents, every part functions as a cohesive unit in the production chain. This stage of the demonstration concludes with the vehicle in its finished operational state. The metal remains polished and ready for the next display of mechanical precision. 2/3 is the exact scale of this miniature Freightliner cabover, a machine that exists in the rare space between fan replicas and industrial legends. While many enthusiasts build scaled models, this specific project was undertaken by Ken Self, the former chief executive officer of Freightliner. He chose to honor the brand he spent decades shaping by personally constructing a reduced-scale version of the classic 1960s white Freightliner cabover. This specific model defined the visual landscape of American highways for an entire era and is now recreated with astonishing precision. Why did a retired industrial leader dedicate years to a 2/3 scale recreation? The task was not merely about aesthetics, but about preserving the original design and proportions down to the millimeter. At first glance, the truck appears to be a full-sized vehicle until a person stands beside it. It preserves the classic cab-over engine layout with no hood, featuring a tall squared cab and integrated headlights. One can notice how the aluminum bodywork reflects light just like the original fleet vehicles of the mid-20th century. The split windshield and vertical orientation transport observers back to the golden age of American trucking. But this is just the beginning. A Cummins diesel engine sits at the heart of the chassis, representing a name that has powered heavy-duty commercial fleets for over half a century. Engineers carefully adapted this power plant to the reduced scale, ensuring it delivers enough torque to move the vehicle smoothly and confidently. The transmission is fully functional, allowing the truck to be driven with the same mechanical feedback as a full-scale rig. It only looks obvious that a smaller truck would be simpler to build, but in reality, the suspension system had to be completely re-engineered. It was adjusted specifically for the unique size and weight of the 2/3 scale frame to provide necessary stability. The steering system is precise enough for maneuvering in restricted spaces like indoor exhibitions and crowded shows. Everything only gets more complicated when looking inside the operator station. Inside the cab, the finish mirrors the 1960s original with incredible fidelity. One can notice the flat panels, the oversized steering wheel, and the narrow seats characteristic of the period. The panoramic windshield offers expansive visibility, and the camera glides along the interior to reveal the tactile switches and period-accurate gauges. Transition to the next level of its history. Today, this mechanical masterpiece belongs to the Pacific Northwest Truck Museum, located in Brooks, Oregon. It stands as one of the most iconic pieces in the collection, not just for its physical presence, but for the narrative of its creation. It is a rare occurrence for a retired chief executive to personally fabricate a replica of the very vehicle that defined his professional career. Is the truck merely a static display piece for museum visitors? Despite its permanent home in a gallery, this mini Freightliner remains fully functional and operates under its own power. It frequently participates in historical events, gatherings for classic trucks, and specialized driving demonstrations. Hearing the diesel engine cycle at this reduced scale provides a powerful reminder of industrial passion. The project bridges the gap between the past and the present, proving that a commitment to the road can transcend corporate business. It becomes a permanent part of a person's identity and professional legacy. The metal stays polished and the mechanical systems remain maintained, ensuring the truck is ready for its next movement. The vehicle exits the workshop area and settles into its display position, completing its current journey. This project shows that craftsmanship knows no size limits. The process is only gaining momentum as the legacy of the 1960s is preserved for future generations. 75% of the scale of an original semi-truck is the precise proportion maintained by this specialized miniature Kenworth. Why would an engineer dedicate thousands of hours to creating a functional machine at 3/4 scale? At first glance, it looks like a high-end replica. But in reality, it is a fully operational vehicle, engineered with the same structural integrity as a professional automotive display. Presence often outweighs sheer physical dimensions in the world of custom exhibitions. This miniature rig functions as a mobile statement of technical passion. matching the finish and detail of full-blown show vehicles. It does not end at this stage. One can notice how the extended sleeper cab and the aggressive longitudinal hood preserve the iconic silhouette of the brand. The camera glides along the wide fenders and the classic round headlights toward a custom chrome front grille that reflects light with the intensity of a Las Vegas show floor. Every component, from the polished fuel tanks to the vertical exhaust stacks and mounted mirrors, was manufactured specifically for this chassis. No generic parts were utilized in the assembly. Everything only gets more complicated when looking beneath the refined bodywork. A compact diesel engine is mounted within the frame, generating sufficient torque to propel the heavy metal body with smooth, controlled motion. The process is only gaining momentum. It is visible how the deep, steady rhythm of the diesel combustion cycle enhances the mechanical realism of the build. To manage this power, the drivetrain utilizes a rear-wheel drive configuration paired with an adapted transmission system designed for precise handling within exhibition environments. The equipment gradually reveals more technical layers. Reinforced leaf spring suspension supports the significant weight of the metal shell while ensuring lateral stability during movement. Chrome wheels fitted with low-profile tires provide a modern aesthetic contrast to the traditional frame. The chassis itself was engineered with mathematical precision to ensure that the visual balance remains proportional while maintaining real-world mechanical functionality. But this is just the beginning. Inside the enclosed cab, the steering wheel is fully linked to the front axle, and the dashboard is outfitted with a series of simulated gauges. There is sufficient interior volume for an adult operator to drive the vehicle comfortably. The level of interior finishing matches the professional standards of full-sized custom trucks, a feat rarely achieved in miniature engineering. Transition to the next level. This machine was not designed to remain stationary as a static display. It functions as a primary attraction at truck shows throughout the United States, frequently surprising observers with its ability to accelerate, steer, and brake like a standard commercial vehicle. The build transcends the definition of a mere replica, acting instead as a rolling tribute to the technical culture of American trucking. It represents a deep understanding of road-going machinery. This specific project concludes its demonstration here, making way for the final and most significant vehicle in the sequence. 351 feet is the distance covered by the Weepeat during a full pull at a sled pulling competition. Why would a scaled-down replica participate in events designed for heavy industrial machinery? One can notice that despite its compact dimensions, this machine possesses the structural integrity and mechanical output to outperform vehicles 3 times its size. In reality, this build functions as a high-performance engineering project rather than a simple aesthetic model. The chassis was manufactured as a purpose-built reinforced structure to handle extreme torsional stress. Engineers integrated a balanced suspension system and wheels specifically optimized for maximum surface traction. Power is delivered through a rear-wheel drive configuration paired with a direct transmission to ensure that every ounce of torque reaches the ground. Precise weight distribution keeps the front end stable while the truck operates under maximum load. It is visible how the hand-formed body panels and twin vertical exhaust stacks replicate the iconic 1994 Peterbilt 379. The exterior features a chrome finish and bright red paint with white accents, applied with an obsessive level of precision to match the original family truck. Every visual cue, from the dual headlights to the polished trim, serves to recreate the highway legend at a reduced scale. But this is just the beginning of its technical complexity. Under the hood sits a compact diesel engine that has been specially adapted for this specific drivetrain. The throttle response is instantaneous, and the internal components are rated for high-stress competition rather than casual cruising. One can notice the steady vibration of the diesel unit as it maintains the necessary revolutions per minute for a heavy pull. It gets more complex further on. The interior cabin features a hand-built dashboard, where every gauge and switch mirrors the proportions of the full-sized original. The steering wheel is fully functional, and the seating position is engineered to provide the operator with the same ergonomic experience found in a standard truck. Even the lighting system is a complete circuit, including headlights, taillights, and a full signaling array. The process is only gaining momentum as the vehicle moves from the workshop to the track. The Weepeat has established a reputation for dominating sled pulling competitions across southwest Missouri. Recording a full pull of 351 feet is considered an incredible achievement even for standard-scale vehicles. This performance demonstrates that the build delivers real-world results measured under strict competition conditions. It only looks obvious that the truck is a display piece, but in reality, it is a machine defined by mechanical brutality. This mini Peterbilt remains a regular presence at industry shows and competitive tracks, where its presence draws immediate technical interest. The blend of visual authenticity and engineering durability allows it to stand as a phenomenon on wheels. The build represents the apex of custom fabrication and mechanical adaptation. Thus, the project reaches its conclusion as a fully functional testament to precision engineering. 100% custom engineered, these are small machines equipped with giant souls that defy conventional expectations. Why would a builder invest thousands of hours into a miniature mechanical work of art? It seems at first glance like a simple hobby, but in reality, these are diesel-powered replicas, capable of real pulling performance and structural integrity. One can notice how the polished chrome mirrors the sunlight, while the engines idle with a rhythmic, heavy mechanical vibration. Size does not limit greatness when every bolt and hydraulic line is a testament to American trucking culture. Craftsmanship on this scale remains a rarity in the automotive world. These are not mass-produced units assembled on a conveyor belt by the thousands. Instead, they are built the hard way by enthusiasts who translate their passion into something functional, real, and technically unforgettable. The process is only gaining momentum as more builders move from pickup-based foundations to full-scale engineering at a reduced volume. It is visible how the metal lays in an even layer across the custom-fabricated chassis of these unique machines. They serve as living symbols of technical creativity and the freedom associated with the open road. Everything trucks represent is distilled into these frames, which remain massive in concept and physical impact despite their smaller exterior dimensions. One can notice the precision of the miniature air brakes and the slow, deliberate movement of the custom suspension systems under load. Transition to the next level of appreciation occurs when these machines are seen in operation, proving their power and historical presence. These projects conclude this phase of exploration by highlighting the most unique and curious automotive engineering currently in existence. Each week brings new developments in the world of rare and fascinating machines where power meets unconventional design. The material stands ready for the next stage of technical review as more powerful projects continue to emerge from private garages and specialized workshops. The journey of these mechanical replicas continues without haste as they preserve the legacy of heavy industry in a new form.